The pet food industry. Did you know that some commercial pet foods contain euthanized animals? Yes, your dog or cat could be eating other dogs and cats. So the reality is, pet food labels are often misleading and they serve as marketing devices and limited sources of information. In my early childhood, I grew up with animals, and my passion inspired me to dig deeper into the pet food industry. I want to know why there are pet food products that are still making our pets sick. And I believe as consumers, we should know what ingredients we need to feed our pets to optimize their health, happiness, and longevity. So, in the first 30 years, nothing was regulated in the commercialized pet food industry, and it was a nutritional guessing game. But in 1958, everything changed. According to FDA.gov, in 1958, in response to public concern about the increased use of chemicals in food and food processing, Congress amended the FDC Act to require FDA's review of food additives before they can be marketed. So how does FDA regulate pet food? There is an act called the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Company that requires pet foods to be produced under sanitary conditions, contain no harmful substances, and to be truthfully labeled. However, what's also included in this act is a rule on ingredients generally considered safe. This rule allows pet food companies to add any additional ingredients to the food supply with little to no federal oversight. So this means that pet food companies can bypass crucial safety checks to add new ingredients and to decide for themselves what ingredients qualify as grass. In 2007, there was a melanin pet food recall that was estimated to have around 3,600 pet deaths. This is one of the worst food recalls in American history. Melanin is an industrial chemical that was added to pet food to artificially inflate protein content. The FDA responded by conducting numerous inspections of manufacturing facilities to locate any of the contaminated products, but this still didn't seem like enough. The dangers of commercial pet food originate from rendering plants, where hazardous chemicals enter facilities and preservatives that are used to prevent food from getting rancid. So known preservatives are BHT and BHA, and those are carcinogens, which are commonly found in a lot of pet food brands. In the pet food industry, I also discovered another horrifying reality: 4D meat. So 4D meat is any meat processed from dead, dying, and diseased animals. And this was found in various pet food brands, but the FDA does not require that to be put on pet food labels. It was also found that some contain cancerous tumors and worm-infested organs. So despite having your pet food companies providing a list of ingredients on their pet food labels, the FDA does not require everything to be listed. So why did the melanin recall happen among others? The FDA only does inspections if there is a cause for public concern. Otherwise, they rarely take place. On to the next. So what is kibble? So a typical pet diet in America is a dry diet consisting of kibble. It's usually made out of meat, grains, legumes, vegetables that are processed with preservatives and heated at very high temperatures. And a majority of cat and dog owners in the US, about 90%, feed their pets a dry diet of kibble. And lastly, I want to talk about what a biologically appropriate diet is for animals. From an evolutionary standpoint, every species requires a biologically appropriate diet for them. So that is basically whatever they would eat normally in the wild. Cats and dogs alike are evolutionary carnivores, so their primary component in their diet should be meat. Feeding your cat or dog solely a dry diet consisting of kibble will not provide a well-rounded nutritional diet, and they tend to be really heavily processed and contain a high percentage of carbohydrates, which are not essential for cats or dogs. This can lead to nutritional imbalances and potential health issues over time. So this is why many pet owners are deciding on alternative diets, such as raw or homemade. And the purpose is to provide whole ingredients that mimic a more species-appropriate diet. Ultimately, providing our pets adequate nourishment requires active involvement and commitment on our part. By prioritizing their dietary needs, we can ensure that they live happy and healthier lives. Let us embrace this responsibility and make the best choices for our furry companions. Thank you.